Good morning everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about where the Amish live. Now for me, when I was growing up, my family lived in southern Minnesota. Now you can imagine how cold that was, especially in the wintertime, because old order Amish are not allowed to have heaters in their buggy. So like if you're driving during the winter, the cold, the wind just goes straight through. And it used to be so cold. I don't even know how I did that for 18 years. Because of that, I appreciate my car heaters so much more. When the Amish originally immigrated to America, most of them moved to Ohio and Pennsylvania, or even Indiana. Those three spots is where a lot of the Amish first moved to. But the Amish are all across the United States and Canada now, but originally they mostly lived in Ohio, Indiana, or Pennsylvania. And I think that's why a lot of people think that that's the only place that Amish live at. Both of my parents are from Ohio, but as kids, their parents were one of the first people to help start an Amish settlement in Minnesota. A lot of times when Amish people move to new areas, they go in groups. It's very rare that you'll see one family living in an area all by themselves. The reason they usually travel in groups or move in groups is that they have enough people for a church. And the Amish that are in Pennsylvania and Indiana, I don't actually know that those are old order Swords Trooper Amish. They're still Amish, but they're different types of Amish. Like the Lancaster Amish people, they're like more modern than the old order Amish. And another thing that I get quite a bit is people think that Amish only live among Amish people and that they can only live among Amish people. That is not true. I get an Amish community that sounds like that's a place where only Amish live, but it's not. It's like there are Amish people, but then there are non-Amish. Like where I grew up, most of our neighbors were non-Amish. It just depends. And then the non-Amish neighbors have electricity and technology and all of that, but the Amish neighbors do not. There's still quite a bit of states in the US that do not have any old order Amish living in them. Now as time goes on, that's going to change obviously, because people tend to want to branch out and start new settlements. Or it could be like, let's say this group of people doesn't get along with the church and they want to go out and have their own church, but just a little bit of different rules. That's usually why old order Amish people start new settlements. And like I said before, there are old order Amish living in Canada. And then when that happens, when they're old enough to start dating, they usually have them travel back and forth, or they have the choice to move into the States or somewhere else where there's old order Amish and live there, because they could potentially meet their wife there or their husband there. That is actually how three of my older sisters met their husbands. They're all three of them are married to Canadians. The first one, he had a brother living in Minnesota and he decided to move there. And then while he was living with them, he met my sister and then they got married. And when they got married, his brother met my other sister and then they got married too. And then their younger brother came to live with them and to help them out on their sawmill and on the farm. And then he met one of my other sisters and they got married. Yes, three of my sisters are married to brothers. That may sound crazy, but I promise I will explain all of that in a later episode. And also, if some people in the community decide they want to join another church, it depends. If it's a group, now they can move somewhere and start a settlement on their own and then have the church that they want, or they can move somewhere where that church already has a settlement or has a community and just join that church. Now when that happens, obviously everybody is not happy about it and people get mad and stuff. But if you don't agree with the church, then you don't agree with the church. And I think you should be allowed to go and believe what you believe in, you know? So basically there is only one place where old order Amish are strictly not allowed to live at. And that is within city limits. Like you cannot live in a town or anywhere within those city limits, but anywhere outside the city limits you can live at. You can even buy homes that belong to non-Amish people, homes that have all the electricity in them, technology in them still. You can buy those homes, but you just have to convert it into an Amish house. Like you have to get rid of all the electricity, the technology, and usually they give you a little bit of time to get rid of that. Now some Amish people do move into those homes and they don't get rid of it, and obviously if they don't get rid of it for a certain amount of time, they're gonna get in trouble. And when that happens, they get a visit from the bishop, the minister, and the deacon. Like they go over there and they have a chat with them and give them orders to get rid of those or else. But yeah, we are allowed to buy homes that have technology and electricity in them. It's just, we can't keep them like that. And the reason we can't live within city limits is because anything within the city limits is considered in town. So like if we live within city limits, we live in town. And we're not allowed to live in town because they believe that there's too many temptations of us using the stuff in town, like the modernized stuff, the technology, the electricity, all of that stuff that can be found in a town. Well, Amish do have rules about where they can live. They have even more rules about how their property is supposed to be kept and rules about their property in general, because like their driveways, they cannot be too short. They can't live like right by the road because, for example, they can't cut their grass super short that is out by the road. They can cut it, but not with a lawnmower. They have to cut it with like a hay mower or something like that, to where the grass doesn't get cut all the way short. And same for the yards. You can only mow your yard right around your house, the immediate area of your house. You can't mow too far. You can't mow too far or you're gonna get in trouble too. So basically, Amish have rules within every aspect of their lives. It's not just their dress and appearance, it's also anything else. Their property, their housing, rules are just everywhere. And I do not miss that. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to hear more of my story. And also follow me on TikTok at IdaMachiba1 and on Instagram at IdaChooseHappiness. I will be posting videos and answering some questions on both of those platforms as well.